Have you ever pondered why some women embrace living alone? No partner, no pursuit of romance, no apparent desire for one. The reason isn't isolation, a lack of suitors, or a broken heart. It's rooted in something deeper, something that challenges the traditional narrative of what it means to be a woman in America today. When a woman chooses solitude, she's not adrift, she's anchoring herself. This journey of self-discovery doesn't come with social media validation or crowded gatherings. It arrives with quiet resilience, inner strength, and a freedom that society often misunderstands. She's not lonely, she's discerning. She's not detached, she's simply done exhausting herself for those who couldn't match her fire. There's something quietly revolutionary about a woman who feels complete without a relationship. She defies the outdated notion that a woman's worth is tied to a partner. She dismantles the idea that she needs rescuing. Many men struggle to understand a woman who stands whole on her own, and many women are still learning to see their own power reflected in her quiet strength. Carl Jung taught that what we suppress within ourselves forms our shadow. Women who choose to live alone often embody the shadow of society's expectations, the courage to be whole without external validation. They don't clamor for love. They quietly honor their own choices. They don't seek attention. They protect their peace. These women aren't chasing fairy tale romance or fleeting approval. They've found power in their own company, a truth that unsettles a culture obsessed with coupling. A woman who lives alone isn't lost. She's operating on a higher plane, where choices are intentional, and her presence alone is enough. That's why she faces judgment, labels, and attempts to define her. She challenges the emotional norms of a society that equates being single with being incomplete. She doesn't settle for just any love. She seeks a connection that amplifies her, not one that diminishes her spirit. Until that arrives, she stands tall, whole, unapologetic, complete. You might think she's guarded, prideful, or hiding pain, but deep down, a question stirs. What if her quiet path is the truest route to self-love? The solitude of a woman living alone isn't emptiness, it's a sanctuary. Society often mistakes her boundaries for coldness, but she didn't build walls to keep others out. She built them to protect her essence. As Jung said, what we refuse to confront in ourselves, we project onto others. Many still see solitude as lack, when it's actually the fertile soil for self-discovery. While others seek fulfillment through relationships, she turned inward, facing her inner world, old wounds, unspoken fears, and patterns mistaken for love. Her choice to live alone isn't born from hurt, but from healing. She hasn't abandoned love. She's rejected versions of it that made her feel small. This woman knows heartbreak. She's loved until she lost herself, given too much, and accepted scraps she should have refused. But through pain, she learned. Disappointments didn't break her, they taught her. What you see now isn't aloofness, it's emotional wisdom. She doesn't crave just any presence, she seeks mutual respect, a connection that honors her depth. She seems untouchable because she doesn't need saving, she wants to be truly seen. That requires more than charm or fleeting gestures, it demands courage to meet her in her wholeness. Some admire her strength, others fear it, unsettled by a woman who doesn't need them to feel complete. She doesn't aim to complete anyone else. She wants to share her overflow with someone equally whole. Until then, she chooses solitude, not out of chance, but out of loyalty to herself. The world may see her as distant, but she's not hiding. She's preserving her essence in a culture that often demands women shrink to fit. Jung noted that where tradition dominates, authenticity struggles. This woman rejects society's script that happiness requires a partner. She hears, "You're too choosy, lower your standards." But she smiles, knowing her picky is simply self-respect, hard-earned through years of growth. She's not seeking perfection, just someone who's done their own inner work, a rare find in today's fast-paced world. Her presence challenges those who rely on insecurity or approval. She's proof you can be content alone, and that truth strips away facades. Men who thrive on control feel threatened. Women still seeking validation feel exposed. But she's not here to judge, she's simply living her truth. She moves at her own pace, unshaken by a society that demands instant gratification. While others chase trends or fleeting connections, she seeks depth. Her no isn't manipulation, it's clarity. Her solitude isn't arrogance, it's a revolution born from pain and self-awareness. What unsettles people most isn't her aloneness, it's the peace she's found within it. Jung said those who look inward awaken, and she has. She faced her fears, shed societal masks, and rebuilt herself. She no longer defines herself by others' gaze. She sees herself clearly, and that shifts everything. How often have you questioned if being single is failure or freedom? She once did too, feeling the weight of a culture that glorifies couples, even unhappy ones. But she realized it's better to be alone than invisible in a relationship. That realization became her vow, never to accept less than she deserves. Her path isn't easy. There are moments of doubt, quiet nights, and echoes of nostalgia, but each choice strengthens her. True love, she learned, doesn't cage or consume, it liberates. Until that love arrives, she grows, not out of pride, but integrity. A living example of Jung's individuation, whole and unyielding. She doesn't need someone to complete her, she seeks a partner to share her awareness. That demands emotional accountability, a rarity in a world where love is often born from need or fear. Her steps echo with lessons. Her boundaries are acts of self-respect. She's not proving herself, she's living her truth. A woman who rediscovers herself becomes powerful, not through force, but through clarity. She's not the same woman who once begged for love. Her breaking was her freedom. As Jung said, a tree reaching heaven must have roots in hell. She's faced her pain, her ancestors' wounds, and broken toxic cycles. She's learned to find warmth in her own presence. She's not closed off. She's selective, opening her heart only to those who come with truth. Her intuition is razor sharp, sensing shallowness from a distance. She walks away not out of cruelty, but clarity. A wisdom that women weren't born to please, but to thrive. Labels like cold or distant slide off her. She lives to expand, not conform. She doesn't chase attention. Her presence radiates. She's not waiting to be chosen. She chooses. This shift disrupts those who expect women to fit neatly into roles. But she's crossed that threshold, discovering that true love begins with self-love. Her quiet confidence is her strength. Jung said what we face within shapes our destiny, and she's become the author of hers. She doesn't beg for love. She invites it, declining anything less than truth. Her dignity comes from knowing her worth, forged through lessons too hard won to forget. She still dreams of love, of being held, seen, cherished, but not at the cost of herself. She seeks a soul-deep connection where neither dims the other's light. If that seems demanding, it's because she'd rather wait than settle. That's not arrogance. It's self-love in its truest form. We're witnessing a new kind of woman, one who rejects superficiality for depth, who chooses respect over desire. Her presence alone shifts the room, not through mysticism, but through the weight of her journey. She's faced her inner battles and chosen peace, integrating her light and shadow, as Jung described. She longs for a love that embraces all of her, light and dark, joy and pain. Those who can't love her complexity haven't grasped love's depth. She's too whole for half measures, too free for cages disguised as care. Her path, though lonely at times, is one of unwavering truth. Society fears women like her, women who don't need, who don't bow, who rewrite the narrative that a woman's value lies in partnership. By choosing herself, she inspires others, sparking a quiet revolution. She walks with strength, knowing she's enough, even alone. This is Jung's individuation, a woman becoming fully herself, without compromise. Her truth shines in her quiet choices, closing doors without bitterness, stepping away from what doesn't serve her, smiling in solitude. Being alone isn't punishment, it's her vow to her soul. The world will push distractions, dating apps, fleeting flings, societal pressure, but she sees through it. It's not about finding someone, it's about never losing herself. When that truth takes root, everything shifts. Desire becomes discernment, waiting becomes growth, pain becomes wisdom. This woman is more than a rebel. She's a beacon of emotional freedom. She carves her own path, lighting the way for others, awakening to their truth. If her story stirs something in you, it's a call to embrace your own journey, to love yourself fiercely, and to seek connections that honor your wholeness. If this resonates, don't let it fade. Reflect on what it means to choose yourself. Share this message with someone who needs to hear it. A friend, a sister, yourself. Like, comment, and subscribe, not just to support this channel, but to commit to your own path of truth. Let's start a conversation in the comments. What does choosing yourself mean to you? Your voice matters, and together we can spark a movement of self-love and authenticity.